No problem. Take care. It was really nice chatting. I really felt like the train it's all very it's very interesting. So good luck with that, and I'm sure I'll see you later. You have a nice Sunday afternoon. Cheers. So for the brief basically, well, it's self-positioning for ILS approach runway 10. From 25 miles out, we go towards Lalad. We'll still be within the 25 DME. If we go back to plan mode, reduce the range as well. So yeah, we'll still be within the 25 miles, so we can go down to 4,000. Choose, and then at Lalad we join the arrival, so it's all charted and it's all safe. Lalad shot base leg towards Lolvo, and then at Lolvo we are on the basically extended center line for the ILS runway 10. The ILS is based on the frequencies 110, well, frequency 110.3. The long year NDB is 350, which is set as well. Will be displayed as well down here. Minimum's 640. Inbound course 097. And in case of a missed approach, it will be a toga called go round flaps 15. Set go round thrust, but the go round thrust will come automatically, and the autopilot will disconnect, so we've got to bear that in mind. And positive climb, gear up. 400 feet, we'll make sure we got LNAV or engage LNAV, and then basically it would be a left turn. Outbound, and then coming back towards Longyear NDB, climbing to 4,600 feet. So 4,600 feet would be the altitude set in the MCP there, once we catch the glide slope. Otherwise, we'll be landing on runway 30, expecting 70 knot headwind. So we've got flap 30 planned, and auto brake 3. Usually, even though we are a little bit heavy, we should stop with the wind maybe around 1700 meters, so we should stop nicely. If I see auto brake 3 is not doing a good job, then I'll brake manually. And once we get to the end of the runway, we'll have to do a 180 degree turn. We're not going to be able to make Charlie there. Charlie is 1835 meters minus the displaced threshold, which is actually how much? 500 meters roughly, not 220. So how come? Yeah, the runway is 2500 meters minus 220 is about 2250, and it shows on the landing chart. Anyway, something like that. That's not that vital. And yeah, that's about it. The weather is good. The latest was showing 70 knot headwind, but it's more or less straight down the runway. Refresh that on the EFB at 1320. It's new weather, 120 at 13, so it's a little bit more on the side, not by much more though, still about 30 knots, so should be good. Fairly cloudy, but at higher altitude, broken at 3,900 feet, so once below the cloud cover, we should have a nice views of the islands and stuff around Svalbard. The whole area is very nice. And QNH 1002. Ooh, that's dropped quite a bit. Okay, so we'll set 1002. Or maybe it was 1002 earlier on as well, not sure. Anyway, that's 1002 set, and 14 degrees now in the afternoon. It's very nice for a place in the Arctic Circle. That's unbelievable. That's probably a global warming, if we believe in that. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, as I said, 1002 on the QNH, so we'll have to change that in the descent forecast page. Set 1002. I might have misread it as well. 1002. Execute. Back to the cruise page, descent at 14:05, so in 10 minutes. So 13:20 was the latest weather. I'll maybe catch a last weather update during the descent. There might be an update by 20 past. Landing at 30. Yeah, we'll see. If I'm too low, then I'm not gonna bother, obviously, but. That's all set up, which is nice. And now basically it's time for a little PA to greet the passengers farewell. Wish them first of all inform them of the ETA in Svalbard, so 14:30 Zulu. It's about, I believe, 4:30 in the afternoon in Svalbard, and talk about the weather. So the weather is partly cloudy, but a nice temperature of 14 degrees Celsius. For this time of year, it's very nice. Oh, and Reykjavik and Scottish are on. Oh my good grief. Good grief. This guy who used to control many moons ago. Scottish control is on. Oh, fantastic. Alright. Looking at the traffic situation, there's nobody around. Nobody's very keen on flying that high. So that's alright. I can almost go and with closed eyes, so to speak. We can do the descent checklist. Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Land altitude set.
Anti-ice.
As required.
Approach briefing.
Complete.
IAS and altimeter bugs.
Checked and set.
Confirm.
Checked and set.
Confirm.
Checked and set.
Confirm.
Disregard the item.
Yep, I'll jump to the next item. Descent checklist complete.
Muchas gracias. Sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't, I don't know. The transcript, if you look at the top left, does say checked and set, which is the correct reply, so I'm not sure why it doesn't pick up. But it doesn't matter. I was hoping for maybe oh, still the moon there, the last crescent. Fantastic. That's because it's actually quite amazing when you think of it, because oh, and we can see the sun just above. Yeah, cool. It's actually amazing because it's currently it's the current phase of the moon. The moon is really at the end of the last quarter, if that makes sense, and it's actually amazing the way that this simulation has been programmed. I mean, from what I understand, it's been released in 2006, and to the day itself, it's today in 2016, and we've got the current moon phase. It's absolutely fantastic. So just a couple of days to go, I guess, and then we'll get a black moon, so the moon will disappear for a few days, and then come back to the first quarter, and we'll get the crescent on the other side. Instead of being like this, it will be like that. Anyway, so the sun is still fairly high. Obviously, we're at high latitudes as well, so it will be interesting to kind of fly around for like a few hours, close to top of descent. Yeah, almost. Yeah, fly around for a few hours and see the constant sun, because I guess the sun doesn't really set up in Svalbard during the summer. Anyway, come back to the flight deck. We are approaching the top of descent, so we'll set the first altitude. We'll go all the way down to 4,200 feet. So as I said earlier on, we would be in not so sure with the 737, but if you had CPDLC, you would be in CPDLC and ADS contact with Bodo Oceanic. You'll be also on HF with Bodo, and at this stage, I guess you'll be kind of instructed to once you start the descent, and they know Bodo Oceanic knows there's no traffic around affecting you in the descent, then Bodo would release you to a long year Svalbard information. There's no so information means that there's not really any ATC itself. It's more like if you are familiar with the term information, it's more like basically giving you information about the known traffic around, and the weather conditions, for example, and things like that. But information doesn't really clear you to land or anything. It's just like tells you, that there's no traffic or things like that. So it's more to kind of give you an idea of what the traffic is around, but you're pretty much on your own. But in case of a problem, obviously there are the information air traffic controller, so to speak, is available to help. So the ET has come down a little bit more. It's now showing 14:29. So we gained a couple of minutes, obviously, with setting up the approach in the FMC for kind of wide base leg, and then coming in runway 10. And down we gonna go. So we can start seeing some of the islands. Svalbard is made of quite a few islands. It's not just one island. It's several islands, and I'm quite looking forward to the scenery. It should be quite spectacular. Oop, and we start the descent. So initially we get like quite a high rate of descent. At the moment, as you can see, it's about almost 3,000 feet per minute. But then as we get a little bit lower, then the rate of descent reduces to maybe about 2,000 feet per minute. And we now transition to an indicated airspeed, so we're now flying 279 knots in the descent, which for this cost index is the speed that usually comes. The FMC will give us 279 knots. If we change the cost index and set a higher cost index, then the speed will be a little bit faster. But I find for the 737 cost index 35 is quite good. And the climb, as I've mentioned previously, the climb speed is calculated with the top of climb wind you enter in the performance page, and in the descent it's a fixed speed, so for cost index 35 it's 279 knots. So entering the forecast winds for the descent seem to help. The speed is, I don't want to spoil it, but the speed seems to be fairly good, 279 knots there. It's maintained. If you don't enter the descent winds, then in the aircraft at least, I'm not so sure in the simulation, but in the aircraft the speed would the VNAV path calculation wouldn't be so accurate, and the speed would either tend to become too high or too low. I wouldn't maintain the speed accurately, so we'll see how we get on. Flight level 290 is supposed to be 188 at 56 we have there, and it was supposed to be 188 at 51, so it's fairly accurate. So that's quite good actually, when you think of it. But jinxed it a little bit, now it's increasing to 283. Oh, it's not exact science anyway. So let's have a look outside at the scenery, if we can start seeing some of the islands. Still a little bit cloudy, but we can see some of those mountains there through the cloud. There's a little bit of land there. It's still fairly white, still a bit of snow around. That's at least in the scenery, because I believe with 14 degrees, at least some of the snow and ice would melt, at least at the lower levels. But here in the simulator it looks fairly white still, which is quite cool. A little cirrus cloud here. All these wispy clouds, really nice actually. Rex soft clouds, really cool. So So we'll jump back into the flight deck, stop peeping outside. We're probably gonna get the drag required message in the FMC, which is no problem. I'll keep the speed the way it is. If it becomes too high, then we'll use a bit of speed brake. The way I've got my joystick set up is if I use the speed brake, goes full speed brake to the flight detent. In real, you can kind of use the speed brake maybe a third, 2/3, halfway. You don't have to use the speed brake all the way to the flight detent. As in the simulator, that's more or less the only thing I can do. Wow, that looks fairly cool. And on the other side, still fairly cloudy, but all those yeah, there's just a little bit of snow here, but all that side there is totally melted. That's quite cool. Approaching the coastline there. Wow, fantastic. It's really, really nice. I'm really chuffed about our flight. 2.5 hours, and yeah, it's worth it. Hopefully it will be a nice approach. I'm not gonna mess it up, but I don't expect to. Wow, that is really, really, really good. Little view from the outside, from the tail camera. Obviously a rugged land, even with the WRBX textures, which are actually really, really good, because I'm sure it's kind of a rugged land. It's probably quite interesting place. Back into the flight deck, passing flight level 200, and we can now set actually the QNH 1002. So we're becoming a little bit low on the profile because of the change of QNH, of our altimeter setting, should I say. So from standard to 1002 is about 300 feet, which was the difference when I initially set the QNH. And now we're gonna slow down a little bit because the nose is rising to catch up the profile, and then continuing the descent again, which is all good. Now we can see as well the long year NDB is displayed on the navigation display, and it's indented Lima Oscar November. We are about 60 miles. I'm not sure when it started displaying, obviously, because we were looking outside, but that's more or less the range of the NDB. It's not a very very long range radio navigation head. So I can't help looking outside because it's really, really nice. Wow, check this out. Very, very good. Flown into a real flown into a real simulator, well, a kind of level D simulator for 777 into a Svalbard, but unfortunately it was a night scene, so I couldn't see much of the scenery out there. Yeah, it's I'm sure in real it's a very very nice place to fly to, above all in the summer. if you fly on polar routes, and there's quite a lot of polar routes nowadays, you would use Svalbard as one of the kind of alternate diversion airports. It's not really used as an ETOPS airport because it doesn't have all the requirements, but it can be used in case of an emergency. It can be used as a diversion airport. Even on a 777, you can land in Svalbard, no problem. Even if you have to use auto brake 4 max or even max auto brake, you would make it in. There's no problem. I believe there's a couple of hotels and things like that, so it's you can definitely land there if you've got like a major problem. Anyway, you can see the wind is becoming more southeasterly, which was forecast as well. So it's a mix of kind of rugged land, a few fields as well. As I said, there's several islands, it's not just one. You can see the fjords as well, which is really good. And there's another island up there as well. Last check on the traffic. I don't see anything on the traffic. Yeah, no, there's nothing there. So there's yeah, here's that fjord, and then there's another kind of bit of land coming out this way towards the west, and then Svalbard is kind of sitting around just on the edge of the fjord here. So we're probably gonna fly like that, then turn towards the west and the side of towards this area, then fly in towards the airport. That's fairly nice. Cloudy at higher levels a little bit, and supposed to be broken at 3,900 feet, so the cloud cover might change as we get closer in, but for the moment it's fairly open. It's almost like a moonscape with a bit of snow still. This is really nice. Wow, really amazed. No icebergs. That's not the time of year. That would be cool to see icebergs, but obviously it's not simulated. So it looks like the aircraft is raising the nose, so we must be close to 100 or 10,000 feet now, and it's reducing towards 250. And basically we are self-positioning towards Lalad for the ILS runway 10. So as I said, if we continue straight, we'll get to the Longy NDB and then do the procedure, but this is more efficient to position ourselves towards Lalad for base leg instead of doing the procedure turn that way there. Ten checks down.
10 checklist. Recall. 10 checklist complete.
Fantastic. So we have our frequency for the ILS set. We've got the 350 for Lima Oscar November, which is identified. The ILS is identified, Lima Bravo. and the standby ADI is set, and the courses are set as well. We can do the approach checklist. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments.
Set and cross-checked.
Approach frequencies.
Checked and set.
Approach checklist complete.
Fantastic. Last weather check. Maybe there'll be a change in QNH. 1001. The pressure is slightly dropping. Scatter 3000, still 40 knots. So flap 30 will do the trick with auto brake 3. Hopefully, but I can't really float too much because the runway is fairly short. So the speed brakes are stowed. The aircraft is navigating by itself. So you can see we are quite close to the terrain. If we look at the display, we're gonna go on the terrain display. There's no weather. We are above MSA, so that's not a problem, but we're seeing at 3,400 feet, which is just under the nose and then to the east. And as I said earlier on, the airport is somewhere along further down the fjord here. Quite interesting place. Imagine what it would be like in real. Very, very interesting place. Very, very picturesque, I guess, is the word. See on this side as well. All those fjords and fantastic. Have a little look on the other side as well. So yeah, as I said, the airport somewhere along there. There's a hill on the kind of southern side of the runway as well, which I guess in real probably creates a lot of turbulence and stuff. So I must be check those textures as well. The clouds are all really nice. A really nice flight altogether. So let's concentrate on the approach itself. Not long to go now. So we have a decel point here. As we can see, we are at the discussion on the Bali video on the Arnav runway 09 for Bali and then Pasar Airport on the YouTube channel about the decel. So there's a decel point here. Now will take us to the next speed schedule of 220 knots or less, I think it was, or 230. So that's the decel point, and then we've got another decel point. So that's all good, whereas on the 777 we only have one. And the speed is coming back nicely, which is good. We can set the next altitude now. We are in VNAV path. We're gonna make Lalat 4,200, no problem. So the next altitude is 4,000 above at Lolvo. So we set 4,000, which is not much more, but that's the altitude we've got to respect, comply with. 230 knots in the turn, it's nice. Then it's gonna decelerate further over the fjord. The FPS is a little bit suffering. I think it's because of the scenery in Svalbard as well. I think it takes into account now. And now back to up speed, and we go flaps 1,
Speed check. Flaps 1 selected.
Speed intervention.
Selected. Speed.
Oops. So we are clear for the LS, obviously, there's nobody there. And we're gonna make the next altitude, so 3,100 feet, and arm the approach mode. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5 selected.
Localizer capture. Heading is 0. Oh, it's been updated to 098, so that's a simulator thing. So we set 098, reduce the speed. And it's gonna work out very, very nicely. Wow, check this out. Beautiful place. That must be such a beautiful approach in real, with all those mountains there, and that must be really, really like spectacular. Wow. So the speed has come back very nicely on the ILS, and we'll achieve the continuous descent. Just help it a little bit there. It's gonna be perfect. Gonna intercept the glide slope with flaps 5. No, Pixel screwed. It's not Norwegian airports. It's just scenery for Svalbard I have today, but it's not the Norway pack, no. Or maybe it's part of it, I'm not sure, but I believe it's quite a good scenery. I had a quick look earlier on. You can see the airport there on the tip of the fjord there. Very, very spectacular. Quite a large and open fjord here, and on the other side as well. Having a quick look before I become unstabilized. Got a nice ridge there and the runway. It's a very spectacular approach, which is all good. Gear down.
Gear speed check. Going down.
Flaps 1.5.
Flaps 1.5 selected.
Landing
Okay.
flow.
Okay. Continuous ignition. Cabin crew seat 4 landing. Cabin crew seat 4 landing.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30 selected. Gear down and secured.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
On.
Recall.
Checked.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Auto brake.
Set. Set.
Now set. Flaps.
Set.
Landing lights.
On.
Landing checklist complete.
Rightio. So we all set. We've got 11 knots. Can't really change the brake setting, but 11 knots is not a lot of wind. So I'll go auto brake max. Actually, I can change the plan. And here comes the motion. And the auto throttle comes off. Readjust the thrust.
1,000.
1000 is checked, missed approach altitude is set. So it's a fairly short runway, there's no alternate for this, so we need to kind of make it in. Still have about 7 tons of fuel, so I can hold for quite some time, but that kind of isolated the airport flight planning procedure, so it's a little bit complex. Looking good, as I mentioned earlier on, that hill to the south of the airport, we can see on the terrain display. So we can't really venture too much to the right of the runway. Got the yellow lines, typical of the Norwegian airports.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Don't float too much, please. I floated a little bit, but I think it was a smooth landing. The passengers won't complain. Reversers, auto brake is working quite nicely actually. 60 knots, yeah, we're gonna make the Charlie exit no problem. Wow, that was a very nice flight altogether. We'll take this exit, I'll actually call gate, go to gate 1, no follow me. Norwegian. Welcome to Svalbard, Longyear, one of the most northern airports, if not the most northern airports, or at least major airports in the world. Wow, absolutely mind-blowing. Clean up. Clean up.
Master, caution, anti-ice reset.
So here's the marshaller. Taxi and flow.
Okay. Clear right.
Clear left.
We have a
Start APU.
APU is already spinning.
Cool. Where's our man? Oh, here he is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's gonna be a rubbish parking. Well, I was not expecting the line to be. Ah, no, 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 no. There. Cool, that will do. I think I give him a fright. Ah, that's not too bad. Anyway, we've got APU is ready, and parking brake is set. Can shut down the engines. I think the man is gone, he's not gonna dance. He's walking away. Look at him, fantastic. Anyway, less than 10%. The engines have wind down. We can release the passengers. Cabin crew can disarm the slides and open the doors. So we'll go to the FS actions. Actually, maybe you can do it as well, multi-crew. Open the doors. Cool, it's opening the doors. Fantastic. And that's pretty much it. We'll call the deboarding. And they'll bring the steps. Here we are. We'll disembark via the back as well. And open the cargo doors for the bags to be offloaded. And do the shutdown flow, so the fuel pumps go off. And the window heat can come off as well. Leave the APU, and coming down, button, that one can set 2000.
Thank you. You did a great job. Thank you for a wonderful flight.
And that's pretty much it. I would help to switch that one off as well. And here we are. So welcome to Svalbard once again. That was a really good flight. Here's the airport surroundings. Nice little smoke there on that little hut. Wow! So imagine you're sitting at the airport there. The view is breathtaking. Absolutely fantastic. Svalbard. That's our air traffic control tower. Svalbard Lufthaven, Longyear. All the mountains around. Little aircraft, a boat, and yeah, looking towards the end of the fjord there. As I said, the hill south of the airport. Wow, that is spectacular, really spectacular views around here. Spectacular, breathtaking scenery. So we'll quickly do the shutdown checklist. Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps.
Off.
Window heat.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Empty ice.
Off.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
Off.
Air condition.
Set.
Exterior lights.
Steady.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down.
Flaps.
Up, no lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Transponder.
Off.
Flight set door.
Unlocked.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Muchas gracias. So we'll take some ground power. Be good for the environment. We don't want to spoil this beautiful nature and the Arctic Circle. So the ground power is connected. We'll switch it on and switch off the APU. We're gonna actually stop over there for a few hours, so we can fully shut down the aircraft. It's gonna sleep overnight, even longer. The pucks can come off, the APU bead can come off as well, and the RS can come to off. Trim air can come off. And the ground power can. So there's a trick there we can't really do, is that there's a service button on the at the purser station, and if you press that service button, I think it is on the, if I remember, the purser station, the aircraft keeps the ground power, but you disconnect it in the flight deck. So let's assume it's done, and then ground power comes off, and then the battery can come off. So the ground power would feed the rest of the aircraft for the cabin lights and stuff like that, and then you can switch off the battery. Secure aircraft checklist.
Secure aircraft checklist. IRS.
Off.
Emergency exit lights.
Oh.
Act.
Off.
APU.
Off.
Battery.
Off.
Secure aircraft checklist complete.
If you forget the like I did, the emergency exit lights, then they will still be on and kind of I believe and drain the battery. So that's one of the things you really don't you need to have on all the time. I mean, to switch off. Anyway, it's been a long flight. I'm getting hungry, and we've got a cold and dark aircraft. We got open doors. The ground staff is on standby. We'll take the jackets, get ready, and make a move and explore this beautiful airport and scenic area for last time. So welcome to Svalbard. I hope you enjoyed the flight today. It's quite interesting flight. A nice departure with the weather and a bit of rain and a few CBs around Oslo. Nice climb out, and then the cruise. A 2.5 hour cruise. It's actually will be a quite interesting part of the flight as well, in real, with CPDRC, ADS, and HF communications with Bodo Oceanic. And then the very scenic approach into Svalbard here with long year information. So I hope you enjoyed the flight. Thank you very much for joining me on the stream today, and hope to see you very soon, and on the YouTube channel as well, on the Captain Nav YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.